So last week, Friday, August something or other, 2020, I was playing Fall Guys before we had some friends over just to play like some games and things, and somehow got into a winning streak on Fall Guys. I don't claim to be like a crazy good player. I know that there's lots of people out there that have like 60 plus wins easily. I'm only at, I think, like 32 crowns now or something like that. But I consider myself a pretty like average to above average player. So I fortunately recorded the whole sequence. And what I want to do here basically is just go into my PlayStation recording. And this was, where was it? So yeah, this was the end sequence. So I mean, I got the trophy. I don't know how you could manipulate that, I suppose, if you're good at, you know, editing and photoshopping, stuff like that. But spoiler alert, I am very inept at like all the tech stuff, like video editing, recording, things like that. So anyways, what we're gonna do, like I said, I have no idea if anyone's gonna show up. That's not the point of this. I just wanted to at least show like I'm recording this directly from PlayStation so that I'm not, you know, I don't know how you can manipulate it any more than that. But what we're gonna do, add some commentary to the playthrough. Maybe I'll learn a thing or two as well. And hopefully, you know, this video serves as not only motivation that if you're, you know, aspiring to get the Infallible trophy, I want to say Infallible, but it's Infallible, play on words. You can get the trophy too, and it's really just about dumb luck. You'll see in this sequence. So, sit back, crack a cold one. This is a bubbly, sparkling water. And I hope you enjoy the stream. I'm not going to edit anything out. Here we go. So this starts out from my first win. I'd only clipped the first few spots from the last sequence here in Royal Fumble. If I'm being perfectly honest, Royal Fumble is one of my least favorite finales, but I feel like it kind of, I don't know, in a little twist of irony, I guess, like I feel like it's one of my better events. Now you might question that because I can't catch a tail to save my life sometimes, and I don't know about anyone else when they play, but it seems like people have, I don't know if it's the lag or what, but people have this ability to just straight up grab tails from like 3 paces away. As you can see, I'm not the most nimble at times either. But people have just this ridiculous ability to just like grab tails from like 3 paces away. I don't know how they do it, but I don't have, you know, that luck very often. So this one definitely comes down to the wire, and I get a little bit lucky here. I haven't watched this full thing back myself, so I'm curious to kind of look at my strategies and stuff. So that was a nice use of the acceleration ramp there. Within, you know, if you get within 10 seconds and you got the tail, I feel like that's better than... And this is what I mean by dumb luck. You just get knocked over by basically, you know, a seismic energy tossed. And somehow, you know, in the good fortunes of the Fall Guy universe, being lucky is better than good sometimes, and you get flung to safety. So that was win number 1. I should almost be tracking these, but I could add some graphics and things. Who needs those? I guess it would be pretty easy to just add some text in the bottom though, so why don't we maybe try to do that? I think I have that here. So Dizzy Heights. I don't mind Dizzy Heights. I feel like we'll see which path I actually end up going here. Path to Victory 2. Let's do that. Because then that way people can at least kind of like get a sense of what happens here. And I was kind of having a mini freak out because I mean I'm just playing the game as is right now, but I feel like on Dizzy Heights you can just kind of ride that fast forward little wheel, whatever you want to call it there, to victory. I see people jumping and I think there's spots that you can do that pretty successfully, but for the most part when you got those speed dials like that, if you stick to the far outer rim, your character goes much faster. So even how I'm doing it here, I've improved how you see how I kind of got slowed down there? I've kind of improved, I guess, and noticed some of these things a little bit more so than, you know, the last couple times I've been playing. I mean, this can suck right here either way, but if you stay those outside paths, usually it's not too bad. I think just for time's sake, we should be able to just fast forward through most of these people here. But like I said, I want to be true to showing like I am not clipping stuff out or editing things. I just want to show you like the sequence of events, you know, in a very non-Lemony Snicket's way, because this was Lemony Snicket's series of fortunate events. And sometimes you get blasted. I love that right there. Those are the blasts you want. Fudged up on the jump there. You can double jump and get to some good speeds there, but sometimes you just got to get that fortunate bounce and feel a little risque when it comes to the whirly gigs, the pole position, whatever you want to call it. And see, when you're out in the lead in this one so much, you can definitely make some silly mistakes like that and it's not going to come back and haunt you. I feel like on a lot of these big group events, it's really not the end of the world if you make a mistake like that, because I should say this one and Seesaw, notoriously Seesaw, you have about like 8 minutes when it's all said and done to just basically just sit back, run to the bathroom, get a snack or whatever, because if you can finish in the top like 5 or whatever, you got a good 8 minutes. Hey Core, welcome. This is just some commentary. I'm showing recording of my Fall Guys 5 wins in a row. I'm trying to kind of still wrap my brain around how the heck that happened. So I'm just kind of playing back the video, and then my intent with this is really just to put it on YouTube where it's a little more accessible. I want to add closed captions to my streams too, but I have not checked the accuracy of some of the extensions yet. So it's basically just a VOD right now, and I'm adding some commentary to it. So how are you today? So yeah, at least with like rollout, I don't really know. I think I've only fallen off like 2-3 times, and it's usually due to these little grabby grabs like that. I've thought about creating a character archetype based on your Fall Guys skins, because I feel like I've played enough matches now that you can kind of anticipate based on the player's skins what type of player they're gonna be. So for instance, like the people with the knockout helmets, I feel like, you know, like the yellow guy with the turtle shell stripes or whatever, the eggshell right there, a lot of times I put them into the box where I say, oh, that person's getting handsy with me for sure. There's no way about it. That person's putting their mitts on me, whether I want them to or not. But we'll get to that later. I mean, you can kind of, if you've played this game enough, you can kind of, I think, relate in a similar regard. Trying to keep busy, Core. Nice. Aren't we all? Sometimes I feel like I would like the opposite of that, because there's always something in my brain that I want to be working on. But all right, so Tiptoe, and I'm just gonna say this multiple times throughout this recording, I am by no means an expert at this game, as you can see right there. That's a prime example. That's my number one disclaimer. I am by no means an expert at this game. It's largely based on luck. Skill has something to do with it, but this is the whole purpose of this video, is to show that you too can get lucky and get the Infallible trophy. So Tiptoe, my strategy basically is once they get a little bit closer here, you kind of hang back and anticipate where the path's gonna go. There's no need being in the thick of, you know, all the jostling for position and stuff, because you're gonna have someone come cruising in full speed, and then they're just gonna knock you off, and you're gonna have a bummer time. It's not gonna be great. Core, you're waiting for your ship to finish eating one of your warframes. So anyways, that's the sequence with Tiptoe. All I can say is, I mean, depending on how many people qualify, you don't need to like be in the thick of things as much. There's like that anticipation and that stress that's building and eating at you, but you have to have the mental wherewithal to just chill back a little bit, keep your eyes on like the general direction of where people are going, and then make your move. So Hex-a-Gone is one that I've definitely gotten a lot better at over time. I would run into some problems trying to cut people off too much, anticipating their moves. So I don't even really know what happens in this one. As you can see, this was looking pretty bleak. But spoiler alert, we pull it off somehow. So I do like the strategy now of going through the middle rings a little more. I feel like people generally have a higher chance of falling down that way. So we're trying to isolate that Triceratops, I should say, right there. But luckily they left some platforms there for me to go to. And then I begin the little jump step here. But the thing that I've learned to do a lot more in Hex-a-Gone is always be aware of the next floor down and kind of stick your landing so that if you are in a bad spot and you run out of tiles on the area you're on, you always want to make sure you have a backup plan below you, because what I'm talking about is right here I'm kind of running out of real estate with the blue, but there's plenty of purple there. And then it's just a little bit of practice. So I'm playing on a PS4 controller, and as you can see, I mean, rotating the camera is a definite must to keep your you know, settings or your visuals in your face at all times. So that one was kind of a landslide victory right there. Like I said, I don't have a lot of tips. I think those are my main ones though that I keep getting better at. Like I had to do some self-talk as I was doing, like, you know, playing Hex-a-Gone multiple times, and I still get boned over just like everyone else. But that's all I can really say, is just like don't worry too much about what other people are doing. Make sure you always have a plain view, so rotate that camera a lot. And you don't always have to just jump nonstop. You kind of need to look at how many tiles are around you, and sometimes it pays just to run towards someone and take some of their pathways out so that you can continue. But at least for, you know, this particular race, like I said, the key really is you don't need to be jumping a ton. You try to stay to the outside as much as you can. And so this recording, you can see I'm trying to do that, but there's still some room for improvement and risky stumbles there. I don't remember if I'm a big butthead here to anyone, but right as you see what that tomato just did. Oh my goodness, what timing. I don't remember exactly what happened in all these recordings because it was a blur. But you see what that tomato just did. That is the only time really where you should be grabbing someone, is if you're right on their tuchus there and you anticipate they're right about to jump off the ledge. You can really you know, leave a bummer time for them. Otherwise, I really don't recommend grabbing too much, other than, you know, push comes to shove, or I can't remember exactly Fall Mountain. There's times where people are waiting for the crown and you can kind of disrupt their flow, because you do have to get some momentum while you're running to make that happen. The only other time I would say grab is right here to hold on to dear life when the crowds get onto the fruits. So I don't know, this one is pretty interesting. I've seen quite a few people, see right here, you might want to grab onto someone so they don't, you know, pop you off, or someone comes cruising in really fast. However, like I said, this one, there's very few times where literally everyone is not paying attention. So even if you kind of blank on where to go, there's usually a pretty good group huddle started that you don't really have to always be on top of your game. Again, these are just my experiences and observations, and I think there's some value, you know, in looking at how you're playing the game too, because I think you can kind of watch other players, how they play the game too, and try to emulate that. But it's hard to kind of pin down. It's like, you know, you kind of know your own tendencies as a player and the timing that it takes for things too. So I don't know, it's I don't think it's pretentious to look at your like your own playback and see, I guess, what's going on with that. But I should probably update that, because that's truly which victory we were on. And I can skim through some of this again. Slime climb, everyone's favorite, right? Who doesn't love a good slime climb? As many curse under their breath. So even when you have some pretty terrible starting position like this, that milkshake was kind of smart to hang back a little bit, but truly you got a couple opportunities here, and then you're kind of screwed if you get stuck into the thickness of the crowd. I don't know, I had some weird stuff happen to me on Slime Climb the other day where I was right at this section here, and I made it to the second jump. So see, you can still get screwed over really easily on this one, but I made it to the second jump here, and out of nowhere, one of those balls came and knocked me over as I was on that section. And that was the most ridiculous thing I've seen, I guess. But as far as I know, the developers have been on top of their stuff, like patching and adding some silly little features to different games. So I think that's the extra special touch with this game that you don't see in a lot, is that the developers are constantly tweaking, you know, the gameplay experience and adding fun little stuff, because they're only in season 1, but they know that even with their limited games, which are still pretty impressive, but even with their limited games, like, they're still adding little features like that to keep it fresh. So I don't know, I've been really impressed with a lot of the different ways that they've been doing things. So as you can see here, Slime Climb can really trim the fat quick, so to speak. So only 5 people made it through to that. And now we're back to Royal Fumble again. So again, I don't even really remember exactly what happens here. I know I win, that's it. See, sometimes I can snag the tail like that, even when I'm not directly behind the player. But I don't know, I've found that there's quite a bit of lag that I experience. I don't know what other people are like, but I've said it before. It's like, I feel like everyone else can get like 3 steps away and somehow snag my tail, so that's not quite as bad. Like I would say Dark Souls 3 was like one of the only real multiplayers that I played quite a bit, or really like all of the FromSoft games for like the, you know, Soulsborne series and stuff. But yeah, well, I mean, when you got 5 people like this, you just have to cut corners and kind of anticipate where they're gonna go. As you see here, like that ninja guy's got the right idea down there. You got 4 of the other people coming for me, and he kind of just went for his own path there. You gotta anticipate like where the players are gonna go, and not anticipate when someone's gonna just get completely drilled by one of those balls. So 7 seconds here. I think the pressure is definitely on. But there you go. There's victory number 3. And the confetti sprays. The confetti sprays. And SuavePsych takes down victory 3. So this is the one where I kind of almost lost my marbles. Because at this point, I'm aware of the trophy. And I'm like sweating, you know. I don't know if I'm the only person out there in the universe that has like just the sweatiest pocket of pits when they're playing Fall Guys or what. But I would like to throw my hat into the ring for sweatiest pits in Fall Guys, you know, competition. Whoever wants to take charge and measure, you know, do the measuring of the armpits, you know, have mercy on you. But if I'm bragging about one thing today, it's definitely not getting lucky and winning 5 in a row. It's about the circumference of my pits. Right here, I thought I was doomed. So you get inside your head, right? And I think I do recall this last week. 35. So I recall last week, after getting 3 victories, right? Yeah, I get in my head and I say out loud to my girlfriend, I just feel like it's gonna go bad this round. And then you saw what happened. I almost got eliminated. Almost. So that's what we call a self-fulfilling prophecy. So when you think something bad's gonna happen, it's a lot more likely to happen. So, and I'm not like I said, I've kind of talked about positivity to a degree. Like, there's healthy boundaries with positivity. Should you exude it? Well, number 1, should is a trigger word, so it's okay if you feel it. Let me retract the should. It's okay if you feel it. However, I mean, you can't always have those rosy colored glasses on, because that is a grounds to kind of be how do I want to put this, like, out of touch with reality. If you're too positive, you kind of lose like the reality of situations too. So you got to take things all in stride, but that positive mindset, I think, that everyone kind of talks about is the real way to go about it. Like, even when things are tough, that's your grit, and your resilience is your mindset. So you don't just do faux positivity all the time, like, you know, yeah, man, oh man, it's all good. Like, you know, it's okay to be honest with your feelings and say, I was stressed, I was ticked off during this time, or in the moment. But you have to be able to just, you know, be aware of that and acknowledge that it exists. So I don't know, perfect match, there's really not a whole lot to say about perfect match other than, you know, the things I already did, and that's hold on, get to the center of the square and grab onto a buddy, because you are more mass that way, and you can't have those rogue people jumping in and, you know, knocking you off your platform. And of course, you know, you got the guy in the little athletic outfit with the headband on. You always gotta size up who looks like a grabbing tins. And there's a lot of players out there. I don't know. I feel like like I said, I'm getting a little annoyed with some of the players because they just grab with no plan of action. They just grab. But there are some pretty skillful times, like I said, where you can definitely grab someone at the opportune moments to give yourself some advantage. But most people I encounter, they just grab with no true plan other than to be vindictive. And jump club, at the start there, I like to kind of just like run parallel with the pink or just follow the green around. But you can also just kind of, you know, you just got to anticipate. As it speeds up, you got to pick your spot so that you're not getting sandwiched in between. Again, I am not a, you know, all-knowing Fall Guys coach, but it's just some experience. So now the first thing you see in these team battles, rock and roll is pretty fun. I do like this one because it doesn't show up a ton, at least for me. But it all depends on your team. And the first thing you see is the color yellow, and you're like, okay, this is the curse. This is my nightmare. Because let's face it, nobody really wants to be on yellow team. But I don't think it's as cursed as everyone makes it out to be. But you definitely got to work together with your team here because they were not playing very well in the sandbox there. Luckily, we got those dudes kind of screwing each other up. But really what you want to do here is just grab one of those guys like that just so that they can't get that angle they're looking for. And, yep, have your teammates hopefully pick you up there and then just hang tight. You can grab some of the saboteurs. That's how you got a shot at this one. But I've seen these matches go on for like 4 minutes straight. There's been times where they've been like pinned up in the top corners over there. I'm just like, when is this gonna end? But this is like unlike Seesaw. I kind of like watching some of these. It's got that extra rush. And then here's where the connection error strikes. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This was at victory number 4 on my way. And so I kind of lost a little faith in humanity there for a while. I'm being completely sarcastic. But let me put that on there. All right. So I'm being completely sarcastic, but I was a little worried because it's like you get that close to getting a very rare trophy and you're just like, come on. In my head, I'm like, I just got to start from scratch here. But I'm like, I'm going to keep going and just see what happens. Of course, you get a grabber right at the start, but I don't know. That network drop when that happened, though, that really crushed me for a little while there. I'm like, oh my goodness, how am I ever going to get, 3 in a row again? Because I don't know about anyone else out there, but it's very rare that I get more than one or two max wins in a row. So at that point when I had 3, I'm like, this is it. Somehow you just ride the crowd on that one. But yeah, when you're jumping through those, you definitely want to try to get the dive move going right away. It seems like you recover a lot faster, and sometimes you just get propped upright. You don't ever want to go through those just jumping regularly because you'll get tossed around like a little rag doll. A little rag fall. So Dizzy Heights again. And let's see if I actually, start to do that. Yeah, so I didn't quite get it there. I got jostled out of position slightly, but otherwise you can kind of just run on there. There's really not a need to jump unless someone's really in your way. And I'm not really sure what I was thinking there, but I decided to go that route apparently. What's this? That's a quick little digger, I like to call there, where you just kind of tuck inside the pocket to that safe zone and then hop out. But again, you can jump earlier than that too, and then you really get out to a good roll here. And then I don't know, just jump and pray that that doesn't happen or that doesn't happen. Cause bad things will happen. Oh, that guy did not like that. Sometimes when people are in your way, you just gotta jump. So again, we'll just kind of fast forward, get to perfect match. I should almost just skip this, but who knows what quality content could be. So yeah, this point, I'm going a little crazy with the gestures and everything. But, I mean, you might as well stand on I guess the one thing I will say with perfect match is just stand on one icon so that you know, like, I'm standing on this one, and then try to just pick a couple that are over there. I like to stand towards the back because it gives you, I think, the best vantage point, but you could similarly do the same thing and stand towards the front and look backwards. But for me, it's harder to recognize the fruits with just, you know, them being upside down. I feel like that's just an extra thing for my brain to process. So, I don't know. Like I said, this is a pre-recording, so if anyone's looking for live action, I'll plan to boot some up after this, but I wanted to just kind of relive my glory from a week ago when I got 5 Fall Guys wins in a row. It's one of those stories that you'll tell your kids as they're, you know, gaming, and you're sitting there telling them about the old gaming days. Well, back in my day, there was a game called Fall Guys that set the precedent for all these games you little whippersnappers enjoy today. And the kid that I'm telling this to, I mean, I don't know if it's like my own grandkid or just like some kid. I don't really know the context, but they won't even be listening because they'll be like, I don't know, they'll probably have like real high quality games on like mobile devices and stuff, so the kid won't even be listening to what I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't know, some people have different strategies on rock and roll here. Grandpa, take your medicine. My medicine will just be Adderall, so I can still play video games with a sharp mind at age like 80. Yeah, I don't know. Some people have different strategies here on this one. Like, you saw one of my teammates, like, right away just decided they were going to go and play D, which is not a bad strategy. But what was interesting there that I just noticed is, like, my whole squad of, you know, my team members, basically, I fell flat while I was trying to block that other guy, and they just rolled it right over me where he couldn't access it. And so, like I said, you gotta have one person kind of just on the other team detail, like, I'm gonna hold this person so they can't sabotage. And everyone else has to kind of just push it to the side until you can get that straight angle. But Core, I do like the grandpa take your medicine comment. Alright, Hex-a-Gone. So, like I said, I've been getting a little bit better at that, but see how instead of going directly downward, I just decided, like, I'm not having that. I did the dive so that I could kind of get out of the way of that guy that was trying to screw up my path. But right there, I mean, like, I didn't really have any real estate, I like to say. This is where you would drop the Tim and Eric It's Free Real Estate video. But yeah, basically, if you can get like the golden land right here like this with not a soul in sight, you're gonna be doing pretty good for yourself. So the only thing to keep an eye on as your hexagons dwindle here is just to make sure that you have, again, free real estate below you. So there's a couple of those blue hexagons below, I think, that I'm keeping my eye on. And I can tell, probably not in the moment, because I'm not thinking that far ahead, but you can see the rest of the Fall Guys are way down there. So this moment, I'm just doing my best platforming skills, you know, straight from my Super Mario days. Not that I'm like, I don't even consider myself to be that great of a Mario player anymore, to be perfectly honest, but I mean, this is heaven right there for Hex-a-Gone. You had that whole path on the outside, could dive to that big one in the middle. Things were looking good. So that would be victory number 4. So let's edit that out, shall we? So if you don't count that network error, which I don't know, it could have been a good thing or a bad thing. I'm gonna consider it a good thing because I got the trophy. But if I consider my full streak, there's always that what could have been thing, because this could have been my 5th victory right here. And so I think I just kind of paused it there for a little bit to like use the bathroom, because it turns out, you know, after like 45 minutes straight of this game, you got to take care of, you know, basic needs. So everyone there is jumping again, and I'm just tra-la-laing around, being a nice little dove, just tra-la-la, using the speed bursts and what they do to you. The only thing I will add that I've seen now, when you're going down ramps like that towards this ball pit area, you do, if you have an open lane, want to jump, because you'll get little boosts. And I've only started noticing that recently, so I mean, it's just like anything, there's always something you can do to get a little bit better at these games. All right, so this one again, off to a pretty good start. It's just kind of anticipating and moving your camera so you don't get caught by surprise from any of those balls. Bada bing, bada boom. First place finish, and then like I said, it is just mayhem and desperation to get to the end. Oops, I didn't mean to go that fast, but you've seen gate crash before, so you kind of just gotta get the timing up. Like these two will go up and down simultaneously, so that's why I paused there. And then it seems like everyone else, not every player, but quite a few of them don't. As you know, right as I'm saying those things, and that stuff happens. But a lot of these players don't really plan for the opening closing aspect that great. So that one was still a little bit close. And I think that one probably got my heart pumping at the moment too, because at this point, I have no idea like how the game counts that, like the network drop. In my head, I'm like, well, I'm starting from scratch, so technically this is like, I only have 1 victory in a row at this point in my head. But luckily they wiped it. So right there, like those guys are jumping, you will get a nice jump head start there. As long as nobody bumps you and knocks you over, of course. And then, you know, life gives you lemons sometimes, but life also gives you bananas and watermelons and oranges, and sometimes they just hit you really hard. So left side there, I guess I decided was not was not working for me, and then an orange comes and makes me regret all my life choices too. And then a blueberry hits. And at this point, I'm just cursing the fruit gods, thinking, this is it. There's no way I'm getting 5 in a row. This is my nightmare. And then we still somehow finished 12th out of 17th. So, I don't know. Fruit shoot is really disgusting, but I've seen some people get cocky there and stand in the middle and forget about those pretzel rods, and it's like, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Nice to know you. So, rule number 1 in Fall Guys is like, don't get too cocky. Like, just cross the finish line. Kind of like those people at the end of Slime Climb, especially, that just want to hug you and, you know, hold their hands out and be your friend, right? It's a trap. They don't want to be your friend. They want to see you writhe in pain. So, I don't know. You can kind of see on... I didn't notice that until a while back either. Like, and I have no idea how that dude knew, like, just to keep running straight, or if that was just a lucky guess. I don't know if PS4 is able to be hacked or not, but however that guy knew to do that, he just ran straight and went for it. But yeah, anyways, just if you're playing Fall Guys, just don't grab people that much. Hands off a little. So I can't remember. Oh yes, Fall Ball. Fall Ball is my absolute favorite. If I had to pick, and maybe that's something that the developers will have like later on, is just the option not to do like an entire episode, but maybe you just pick which game you want to play. I could imagine that would be, you know, a nightmare to try to pair up players, but like some of these games like Fall Ball are limited numbers of players, so maybe it wouldn't be too bad to connect. But I love this one. I think the best thing that I've learned in this game is sometimes just to, like, when you can get it to the side like that, great. But a lot of people, I think, just panic and want to hit the ball right away. And if you got like an open lane, you don't have to like dive at it. I did because that guy was so close there. But I think a lot of people are so antsy to just hit the ball that they want to get there first. But you kind of got to be tactical about it as well. Like, look at that bank shot action, right? 4 people, they can't touch me. Kind of want to be tactical though, like I said, because right there I got a little too aggressive, and if I would have held back just a little, you almost want them to get the momentum first and then pop it over them. But we make up for it here with a nice little save. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, you don't need to jump all the time. Just get the ball in motion and then just start rolling it. But I had a feeling that guy was maybe gonna get a little handsy and grab me, so Hansel and Gretel. I was Gretel in that one. He was the handy one. No one on the team to pick me up there, unfortunately. But like this guy, you gotta kind of play the angle and then try to pop it off on the bank shot, because those bank shots really mess with people's I don't know, anticipatory skills, I guess. And that was my bad on that one. That yellow person definitely, the yellow teammate definitely had a goal there, and it blocked them out. The only thing I don't like about Fall Ball is when my team all decides to completely abandon the goalie position. Like, I can't play goalie. I'm just not a natural Fall Ball goalie. I'm good at putting the balls in the net. But I think, like I said, it would be interesting to see if people, you know, if the developers, I guess, let people pick their games and do it that way. But who knows? Maybe they don't want them to get that much like practice, so to speak. But I am open for the Fall Ball World Team events if anybody wants to, you know, see if I can qualify for the national tournament. I feel like I could stand my own in some Fall Ball. On a team, I should say. You gotta play to your strengths, right? And Fall Ball, I feel like I do it pretty well as long as I'm a forward. But I digress. It's like I said, there's still some mistakes I made in that game, but Fall Mountain. Get a jump going right away, because I have found that if I don't jump, my character sometimes loses balance right off the bat. I always try to go to the right side, and then it's just kind of trying to guess where those things are going. Not always that easy. But I always try to kind of sneak behind this trapezoid and then run to the right side here, because that seems like the quickest route. And then I've had some bad breaks here, like this one. I'm like, oh, come on, just give it to me. But you got to kind of keep your momentum going and grab that crown with R2 or whatever the PC version is. That's good stuff right there. So that was Victory 5. I think that's all that's left of that video. So the Infallible trophy, like I said, popped up shortly after that one. And I did it! So I hope that, like I said, number one, you have the motivation and understanding that you too can get the infallible. I keep wanting to say infallible. You can get the infallible trophy. You don't have to be that good of a player. Case in point, I'm pretty decent. There are people that I've seen that absolutely dominate this game, and they still don't have like multiple streaks of crowns in a row. So hopefully you get some good luck out there. If maybe there was something that was helpful in the video, I'm glad that you were able to watch and see that. And that's basically it. I just wanted to record my very rare, once in a probably blue moon type thing where I somehow got 5 Fall Guys victories in a row. With an asterisk by that because there was a network error. So it could have been, you know, another one on top of that. And the thing I didn't record after this on my PlayStation, I thought that it would record it, but it only went back to a certain point, is that I did get a number 6 actually also. So technically my record is 6 in a row with an asterisk, like I said, because of the network error.